Chapter 11:16. Pork? Then you have to ask where your mother bought it. Lady Richard frowned and looked at Lucy, and asked, "Did you go to the black mall to buy water-infused pork?" Lucy hurriedly shook her head. "It's impossible. I watched the vendor cut the pork from the half-fan. There is absolutely no problem." When Olivia heard this, she said weakly, "What about that noodle? Isn't the dumpling noodles right?" Lucy shook her head again. "The noodles are fine. I have eaten it a long time ago. The noodles are okay, and the pork is okay. Could it be that the problem lies with the leaks?" Thinking of this, Lucy couldn't help but open her mouth. There must be something wrong with the leaks. Maybe there are pesticide residues. Lady Richard frowned and said, "The freshly cut fresh leeks can't be a problem, and the sea dragon has also been washed. Even if there are pesticide residues, they are all washed." Harold said, "I'm taking the washing seriously. I'm stroking the washing one by one." The Richard family repeated each sentence several times, and no one could tell why, so they could only stare. The doctor said helplessly, "If you can't figure out what it is, you can only temporarily wrong you for a while. We will send your blood and secretions to the testing department for testing. If the test results come out, then I can know what poisoning you are." Lady Richard nodded weakly, and said, "Then you should have a test quickly." After waiting for about an hour, the doctor came over, still holding a few test sheets. As soon as he entered the door, the doctor said to everyone, "Your test report came out. All 5 of you are daffodil poisoned, and the poisoning dose is quite large. What's the matter? Are you growing a lot of daffodils in your family?" Hearing this, the Lady Richard was stunned, frowning and asked, "Daffodine poisoning? What is that?" The medical staff said lightly, "Daffodils are a kind of plant, which is often used as a flower to admire. When it is not in bloom, it looks like a leek. Many people eat it by mistake every year." With that said, the medical staff took out their mobile phones, searched for pictures of daffodils, and handed them to Mrs. Richard. "Here, this is it." Lady Richard saw the picture of the daffodils, her face turned green, and she trembled and said, Isn't this the new leeks grown by the Alex family today? This thing turned out to be a daffodil." Speaking of this, the Lady Richard could not wait to look up to the sky and curse, "Alex, you are so poisonous. How can there be a devil like you in the world?" The doctor asked in surprise, "What's the situation? Has anyone poisoned you? If someone poisons you, you should call the police." Harold immediately cursed angrily, "Grandma, call the police. Call the police now. Call the police to catch Alex's bad day." Lady Richard was also mad, and immediately took out her cell phone, pressed 101 tremblingly, and then dialed. After the call was connected, the operator immediately asked, "Hello, alarm center, what problem do you encounter and need to call the police?" Lady Richard said immediately, "Comrade police, our family of 5 has been poisoned, and it is poisoned by others. You must help us uphold justice and catch the poisoned bastard." When the operator heard this, he immediately became nervous, and blurted out, "What's the situation? Can you tell us in detail?" Mrs. Richards said, "There is a bastard named Alex who lives in Beacon Top Villa A07. This bastard grows daffodils at home to pretend to be leeks. I cut off his family's daffodils in the afternoon and went home to make dumplings. After eating, our family was poisoned. We are now lying in the hospital. You must be fair for us." Chapter 11:6